Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. Arlene Diamco, the MultiDimensional MD. I am here to talk about some body, mind, spirit tips on a road trip because every year we take an annual road trip up the East Coast to visit friends and family, and I'm so glad that we get to do it again this year. And these are things that you can really do for any trip, but I'm going to go through some things to do for water, herbs, and supplements are great to take with you, some perspective and calming things. And so, as always, we'll go through it in a multidimensional way. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and let me know where you're from. And if you have any questions, I would love to hear from you. So, let's start with the body. So, what do we do about water? I am very picky about water. We are mostly water. My constitution has a lot of water in it as well. So to feel really good and hydrated on road trips, on any trips, on the airplane, anywhere, then I like to have the best quality water that I can have. And if you have an empty water bottle, whether you're going to flight or you fill it up before you go on a road trip, then you could use a charcoal filter that you put in there, some kind of filter, or you could use some food grade bentonite clay and just sprinkle a little bit in there. The Native Americans used to use bentonite clay, and what that does is it helps to kind of sponge up any toxins or chemicals in the water. Even tap water has so much in it. So just to purify it a bit and make it more nourishing for your body. In a pinch, if you don't have any water, you don't have any filters, and you have to buy bottled water. I know we try to avoid buying bottled water or things in plastic, but if you have to, my favorite bottled water, besides the Lipsy spring water that we get delivered in glass bottles at home in the office, is Fiji water. Just energetically, it feels the most balancing for me of the common bottled waters that you can get in the stores. Next, what herbs and supplements can you bring with you? So I'm going to focus on some gut and immune boosting supplements because when you're on the road, then your food and meals may not be exactly ideal or what you want. So you probably need some extra help digesting. So I will bring some digestive enzymes with me. And if you get my newsletter, I have a link to all of these things. So just sign up if you're not already at allworldshealth.com. I send an e-love letter once a week. And I'll have a link there for the next one for different for all these things that I'm mentioning here today. So I take some digestive enzymes with me just in case that I'm not eating exactly what I want to be eating ideally, just to have a little extra help with digesting, breaking down the food. I'll also bring some dandelion tincture or glycerite. So I'll bring it in a little bottle and you can take it straight, you can dilute it in some water or something to drink. And I'll usually take that either once or twice a day because I find that when we're eating out a lot, that the food tends to be oversalted and they use a lot more processed salt. And so I'm really sensitive to salt in general. And so if I eat a lot of salty foods, then I tend to retain water and feel really swollen. And so the dandelion tincture is not only does it help you digest foods, it's also a bitter. It helps you to release digestive enzymes, but it also acts like as a very mild diuretic, especially those leaves of the dandelion plant. So it helps you just like move water and not retain and not have that swelling that you might get when you travel. You can also take, not only can you put the activated charcoal or bentonite clay in your water, but you could take it as a supplement as you need to. If you're picking up foods and ordering out then and eating things that you may not be as clean as you'd like them to be. If you want to have any teas, then one of my go-to teas is chamomile tea. It is a great nervine. It has so many different properties to it. It also has some great antiviral, antibacterial activity, and it also has like great gut healing properties. So it's just like this really gentle all-purpose tea. You can take it at any age. You can take it when you're pregnant. So if I drink it more for medicinal purposes, then if you have the tea bags and not the loose, then I'll put extra tea bags in there. So I won't use one, but I'll use 2 or 3 and make a cup and steep it covered at least like 10 minutes or so to really get the most out of it. And you can drink that, sip on that throughout the day if you like it. If you don't, I'm just mentioning things so you have a lot of different options. Another supplement you can take is some vitamin C. So it's great to have that on hand. Liposomal vitamin C is the best absorbed, but you can take any form that you have available to you. So a lot of people already have vitamin C at home. Usually I find most people can tolerate about 500 milligrams. If you don't, then you can get some GI upset, so belly can hurt, or get some diarrhea with that. So you could take multiple times a day, because you'll just tend to urinate or pee out the excess, and you don't hold on to the vitamin C. It's a water soluble vitamin. It's great for the immune system, and you can take much higher doses than the 500 milligrams. So in general, I'll take about 1,000 milligrams once or twice a day while I'm traveling. If you want some extra immune boosting support, then you can also take some elderberry every day. If you're feeling a bit run down, then ashwagandha is really great to give you just a really gentle boost. It's for the adaptogens, it doesn't have quite the big punch as some of the other ones. So it tends to be on the more gentle side, but you really only need it if you're feeling run down or you need that extra immune boost. And depending on what you're eating, please take your good multivitamin if you are not getting like as many greens as you could. And a lot of times people ask me, what do I pack for emergency food? So when you get hungry, it's really nice to have some go-to foods to have on hand, because otherwise you're going to just grab whatever you can. And when you're traveling, chances are you're not going to have as many options. So I have a few things that I take with me. I always have some kale chips on hand, and this is one that I love, Brad's kale chips, just because I need a lot of greens, and most people really do, to feel good and function well. So, I mean, I just fly through the greens. Your brains need so much green and minerals and antioxidants and all those B vitamins. So I really don't feel good unless I'm getting a lot of greens. And if I'm in the road and they don't have that many veggies, then I can have that. I'll also take, if for a little bit of protein, some sprouted pumpkin seeds, and this by Living Intentions. It's really good. You can get that at Sprouts or Whole Foods. I don't know why it tastes so good. I think it's something with the sprouting, but these are like my favorite pumpkin seeds. And if I need to, then I'll have some granola as well. Sometimes I like to make a batch before we go. But if I don't get a chance to, then this is one that I get. So everyone wants to know what's in my bag, and so I wanted to share that with you. Now, if you're on the sitting for long periods of time, then it's really important to take breaks to get up and walk around. So when we drive up to New England, it is like a 20-hour road trip. We split it up over a few days, but still you can have hours in the car, and it's not really good to be sitting for that long. So you need to move your lymph system, to get your muscles going. So at least every 2-3 hours, take a break, get up and walk around, pull over somewhere to just so you can move your body. It's going to be much healthier that way. And some perspectives on the rhythms of a 20-hour drive. So this was just really great to think about, because we had thought about flying up here, but with the airlines and the flights and everything going on, we thought, we'll go ahead and drive. We didn't have as much time to drive as we usually do, so we had to really consolidate the hours. And so many people ask me, well, I mean, doesn't that drive you crazy? Like being on the road for so long and all those hours in the car and all the kids in the car, and how do you manage that? And a lot of it is about perspective, because I just cherish these moments in the car with my family. And it doesn't even matter what's going on in the car, because I'll notice, like, we'll go through these rhythms, like everyone will be chatting and then they'll be quiet, maybe sleeping, or on their devices, taking a break, doing their own thing. Then they'll fall asleep, and then they'll get up, and then they'll be hangry, and then maybe people will be like arguing with each other and getting kind of whiny. But to be honest with you, I really soak up every moment, because I have 4 kids, and there are not as many moments now as the kids are getting bigger where we can spend all this time together. And so just to get to see all their different personalities and how that comes together and how maybe it falls apart sometimes, all of it is just, I just love it. And um, I'll tell you this funny story, um, because they were like chatting and having good time and braiding each other's hair. And then I picked up the phone, answered the phone, and the funny thing is, my littlest one, as soon as I picked up the phone, it wasn't because I picked up the phone, but as soon as I did, she screamed at the top of her lungs. And so I just had to say, I'll just call you right back. But I just, I just had to laugh, because it was just an unexpected thing that happened. Unexpected, but at the same time expected, because that's going to happen at some point during the road trip. It just doesn't always happen as soon as you pick up the phone. But it was such a silly thing that she screamed about, because her her older sister had braided her hair, and then she wanted to take the braids out, and then another sister said, no, you can't take them out, because if you take out your braids, you're going to look boring. And so just that one comment made her scream. And I mean, as a mom, like, I just had to laugh at it, because what else are you going to do? And it was just one of those great moments, along with all the like other moments in the trip. And so that's what I just wanted to help you see, is just like there's so many ridiculous moments, and to just sometimes, instead of getting caught up in the, oh no, why are you screaming, just to just have a little on the inside little chuckle about it, and love those moments too, because every moment with them is precious. Time is just so precious. um, and of course, to have the music that helps you during your road trip. So that's going to be personal. Usually I'll have my earbuds with me, and so periodically I'll take like a little meditation music breaks, just to settle myself and recenter, um, calm down the nervous system, because there's a lot going on, and really cramped quarters and long hours on the road. And if I do that periodically, that really helps to center me. And you can do that too. So I have an 11-minute meditation that I'll do that. I mean, like every few hours. It's just really so helpful. And I'm happy to share that with you if anyone is interested in it. So I have a few more points. And number 7, why are you taking the trip? So it's good to refocus and just circle back around, like, why are you taking the trip? Usually it's about some sort of connection. So you're visiting people, you want to spend time with your family, you want to spend time with your loved ones. So to always circle back around to that, like, why are you taking the trip? And then at the same time, letting go of having to pack the schedule, because you can't do everything. And to realize that there's always something greater helping things unfold. So when things don't work out exactly as planned, that's okay, that there is somehow it's working for your greatest growth. Somehow your spiritual growth is unfolding in the way as it needs to be. And really, it's not about the perfection of what your mind thinks it's supposed to look like. So really sinking into, you don't have to do everything. It's just taking it moment by moment. And I read this book, Bird by Bird by Anne Lamott. It's really great. She's such a great author. And in it, she tells a story about bird by bird. Her brother was doing a report on birds, and he left it to the last minute. And the night before, he was panicking. This is when they were growing up, and he was like, how am I supposed to get this done? And his dad said, just go bird by bird. And for me, that bird by bird is that moment by moment. And it can be, you can just think of it as a breath by breath. So when things feel really chaotic and you're not sure what to do, it's you're taking things breath by breath. And that's all. You don't have to think about everything else in the future. You don't have to think about everything else in the past. Just bring yourself to that moment and take it breath by breath. And so last, just a reminder, that I am reminder. And you can incorporate that with your breath by breath. So whatever you want to feel in that moment, just bring it back to that I am mantra. So if you would like to see peace in a moment, just I am peace. You could put your hands on your heart. You could close your eyes. You could look in the mirror and just say that a few times. And breathe it in. I am peace. I am love. I am peace. So if you do a few breaths like that, that's your bird by bird. That's your moment by moment. And that's how you'll get through your road trip in a more joyful way. And that's what I've been doing during this road trip. So I hope that helps you in some way. If you have any other questions, please let me know. So great to see you here. I'll be back next week, 11 a.m. EST, for another episode of the MultiDimensional MD. So lots of love to you, and I'll see you next time.